If you've been keeping up with golf lately, you'll know that Cameron Smith's profile has been growing. The 28-year-old golfer just won his first major tournament in Scotland just a few days ago. Recently, though, he's under the spotlight because of some comments he made about LIV Golf, the new Saudi-backed golf tour that's taking over golf worldwide, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. So let's dive in. Firstly, who even is Cameron Smith? The Australian player began playing golf professionally all the way back in 2014, so we know he definitely started out really young. Ever since that, though, he stayed on top in multiple tournaments like the Asian Tour and even played for RBC Heritage. In 2015, only his second year of playing professionally, he made it to the US Open. He finished in the top 4, and this allowed him to go on and play the Masters tournament in 2016. Smith's trademark long hair and his Aussie accent are very well known to golfers and their fans, and he cemented his position as one of the most promising young players on the tour. Next, how's 2022 been for Cameron Smith so far? Even though the past few years were great for Smith, he's made a lot of big moves this year as well. Let's look at a few of these. It's safe to say that Smith started this year off with a bang by winning the Century Tournament of Champions in January. He broke some records, shooting 34 under par, breaking Jon Rahm's record by 1 stroke. At this age and this stage in his career, this is a pretty great achievement. Soon after this, Smith played at TPC Sawgrass for the Players' Championship and joined the only other 5 Australians who have ever been on this list. All these tournaments and other achievements are great, but the breakthrough for Smith's career is definitely his first ever major championship, the 150th Open Championship. Playing at the historical course at St. Andrews Old Course, Smith's charisma was definitely something else in this tournament. With all the recent publicity that he's been getting, he's definitely under the spotlight. Recently, he lost his cool in an interview when he was talking about LIV Golf. As you've probably heard, this new golf tour has everyone heated, and the players of the game have a lot to say. So when did Cameron Smith lose his cool? Of course, everyone wants to know what one of the biggest and most famous athletes in Australia has to say about this whole controversy that the world of golf is wrapped up in. It looks like a reporter, right after the British Open, asked him if he plans on joining the LIV Golf Tour. In the video, you can see just how his energy shifts and his face changes entirely. Clearly, Cameron Smith was not happy about this question and simply refused to answer. He said that it's just not good that he was asked this question right after he won the British Open. Of course, this would be the last thing on his mind. The reporter said the only reason that Smith's being asked this question is because of the fact that the rumor mill is going insane with this. Fans need some clarification. Still, it's pretty unfair how Smith wasn't allowed to enjoy his victory. He's literally the first Australian golfer in the 21st century to have won golf's oldest prize. Of course, his response seems pretty rational because it's like the man didn't even have time to celebrate, let alone process his win. Finally, let's look at Smith's response. At first, even though he was clearly agitated, it looked like Smith wasn't going to answer the reporter's question. His actual answer, too, wasn't really an answer, though. It was a simple, "I don't know, man," which is pretty fair given the situation that Cameron Smith was put in. He also made it very clear that he's only in this game to win tournaments, which is super telling about his focus. It looks like he wants to remain uninvolved with all this politics surrounding the world of golf. He also said that he's not responsible for these kinds of decisions and his team handles everything. So on the off chance that the Australian does join LIV Golf, we know who to blame. Will Cameron Smith actually join LIV Golf? The fact that Smith didn't give a clear-cut and concise response has some fans speculating that he might actually be joining LIV Golf pretty soon. After all, the tour has signed over 20 of the players who are playing at St. Andrews alongside Smith. These include Bryson DeChambeau, Patrick Reed, Louis Oosthuizen, Sergio Garcia, Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, and Phil Mickelson. Clearly, LIV Golf has a lot of money to spare, and they're not afraid to invest in players and their talents, whether they're young or old. Another really interesting thing about LIV Golf is that the organization's CEO is Greg Norman. And guess what? Before Cameron, he was the last Aussie to win the British Open all the way back in 1993. Naturally, we can expect that Smith's looked up to Greg Norman for a long time, and this might be a contributing factor if the golfer decides to join LIV Golf. Now, all of this is just mere speculation, and it's very possible that we won't be hearing about Cameron Smith joining LIV Golf anytime soon. But fans should still keep an eye out because now that the major golfing event of the season is over, players are going to start dropping like flies from various tours just to join LIV. If the Saudi-backed league has one thing, it's money, and they're not afraid to give it to players who want to join. Now let's move on to some other golfing news. First, things aren't looking good for Stenson after joining the LIV Series. It looks like Henrik Stenson, the captain of the Ryder Cup, is going to be stripped of his captaincy. You must be wondering, this is so sudden, and it seems a little unfair too. Well, the reason is because he's joined the Saudi-backed LIV Golf Series. If you've kept up with golf for a while, you probably know about the friction that LIV Golf has created within other leagues, like the PGA Tour. Clearly, the PGA Tour isn't the only one who has an issue with this though. Stenson's been playing for the Ryder Cup for at least a couple of years, and he was even the 2016 Champion Golfer of the Year. He's also supposed to lead Team Europe next September in the biennial contest. His captaincy was only announced this past March, but with this announcement another one followed. The next announcement was made by Zach Johnson, the captain of Team USA. Johnson saying saying that players who are a part of LIV Golf will not be allowed to play for the Ryder Cup. Of course, this has sparked some outrage, but a lot of it has been redirected because the LIV Golf tournaments are heating up. Next, let's look at the winner of the Barracuda Championship. Chez Reavie just won his third PGA Tour title on Sunday. The Barracuda Championship was quite the tournament, especially for Reavie. In the last match, he was already 6 whole points ahead and worked really hard, ending cleanly with 4 birdies and 2 bogeys. Apparently, he had no idea that he was even in the running for the win until the last hole. This match was really impressive, especially for Reavie, considering he's one of the only PGA Tour title winners over the age of 40. This isn't the only accolade to his name. He also won the 2019 Travelers Championship as well as the 2008 RBC Canadian Open. At 43, he's showing no signs of stopping. The 10-time DP World Tour winner is not going to back off anytime soon. He also won the 2008 RBC Canadian Open and 2019 Travelers Championship. Reavie had 4 birdies and 2 bogeys Sunday. Players get 5 points for eagle and 2 for birdie, while a point is deducted for bogey and 3 taken away for double bogey or worse. Finally, did Tiger Woods really reject a contract from LIV Golf? It's no secret that LIV Golf is going after all the big players, the greatest in the game, and it looks like Tiger Woods wasn't immune either. Woods is definitely one of the most talked about athletes in modern times. His legacy is insane. He's widely regarded as the greatest golfer of all time. Well, the Saudi Golf League was offering him a 9-figure deal to leave the PGA Tour, which Woods allegedly declined. He's definitely going to support the PGA Tour for a really long time, especially because of the fact that his own foundation runs their events. Plus, he reassured reporters and fans and said he has no plans of going anywhere. According to the rules of the PGA Tour, if a player joins LIV Golf, they're suspended and even permanently banned immediately. Still, 9 figures is insane. Would you reject a 9-figure deal from LIV Golf? That's a wrap for this video. What do you think of Smith's reaction to that question? Do you think it's fair? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.